Wow. Wow, guys. Wow. What is up, y'all? Did you read Dominion's request to reject Fox's request for a summary judgment? Nope. Why? Is it good memes? I feel like we've dug enough into that thing. Have you pissed off today? I don't think anybody today, have I? I didn't order these parts yet. Oh, Nick Merckx. Do you get any confirmations for conservative debates after your call out? Andrew Wilson will do that. Kennedy drops out. Do you think Trump is almost certain to win? Everything that I've seen shows that RFK was drawing pretty evenly from both Democrats and Republicans, surprisingly. Okay. This needs to be a 7950. So I got this recommendation for a build that 7950 is really good for streaming. We've got a Noctua cooler, big old motherboard. 2.6 of RAM apparently works better than 4. 64 gigs of RAM. 4 terabyte SSD, 990 Pro is fine. This mid-tower case is fine. PSU is probably a little on the large side. I don't know why this guy thinks I have 5 gigabit per second internet, but I don't actually know if you can do 5 over Ethernet. I know they have to run fiber to the box. Is Cat 6 a thing now? Maybe they can. You can. Or does Cat 5e do over 1 gigabit per second? Well, okay, can someone explain what this guy means when he says this? Destiny's primary issue is going to be PCI Express lanes. Well, why? It's distance dependent for Cat 5e. Okay, well, the distance is from here to, I guess, San Francisco or wherever the servers are that I send my data to. What do you mean the distance, dumbass? Fucking got him. Okay, I don't think the lanes matter much. Okay, so I've been out of the upgrade game for a while. Is it better? Is the AV1 codec better than like X264 or X265 software encoding? Should I be like aiming for that? Software X264 slow is still the king for quality. AV1 and VP9 are worse looking, but much more efficient. Oh. Okay. Is there a reason why should I go for a Threadripper over the 7950X? Does it matter? Wait a couple weeks and get new shit. Oh, fuck, man. Okay. I think this is probably fine. I'm probably just going to go with this then. I'm just going to throw like a capture card in here. The total cost of $2K. I need to throw in a capture card. I'll probably download. I don't know if I'll ever get a GPU on this build for just my streaming computer. I'm not sure. How confident are you that you can make the case that Donald Trump knowingly committed fraud? It's like there might be difficult cases to make, and this is just not one of them. It's just not that hard.
The thumbnail. And the war against woke is, it's from Destiny, r/Destiny. Oh, look at that. The Tim Pool versus the woke left in skateboarding continues on. And they are ramping up the lies and manipulations. But I got news for you. We're winning the culture war. And so they've decided the only way to actually succeed is to lie about what's going on in this industry. And you may be saying, Tim, I don't care about skateboarding. The point of the segment is get woke, go broke is no better exemplified than skateboarding. Really. Skateboarding's dead. People can't have jobs anymore. They can't have families. They can't live a life. They struggle to feed their kids. And so they're getting secondary jobs. They're working at Home Depot. They're Uber drivers. You can't be a pro athlete like this anymore. And you never really could. And
not to shit on any sport. I'm so sorry. Okay. I love and appreciate all sports. How many people were surviving as pro skaters, even in the height of like Tony Hawk, Brink the movie? How many people were there were probably about as many pro gamers as pro skaters. What the fuck? Not to knock anybody, but like
the fault is the virtue signaling and man, skateboarding as a driver of culture for decades, no better example than the virtue signaling gatekeeping garbage in skateboarding that is metastasized and spread outward into other areas. And I do think Gamergate was the beginning, but skateboarding really nails it. So we're going to break down the lies. We're going to call out the haters. And I'm going to talk to you about why skateboarding is dying and how wokeness is a component of its own destruction. And the industry leaders who are talking to me in an effort to save this from woke, and we will. Shout out to Public Square for investing in Nitro Circus. We'll grab a couple super chats and then we'll talk about skateboarding for those that are interested in hearing it. Melissa Saldana Ocasio says, please have Maureen Callahan.
Okay.
Thank you. I just wanted to confirm there was only one counter sniper who took one shot.
Alex Jones's tweet is called Secret Service Director confirms more than one shooter. 20Ox 2022 documentary, skateboarding fell off in 91 and 93 and he had to sell his house. I think probably one of the nicest things about being like the era of influencers. No, I shouldn't say that actually. Before influencers, I guess like gamers and YouTubers. I feel like we're going to keep our money better than athletes. Because I feel like if you're an athlete, I think they waste a lot of money like on partying and on dumb drugs. But streamers, we just sit inside all day. We bank our shit. We don't waste any of it. We all invest wisely. Wait, actually, did you see the new Nox video? Fuck no. Wait, fuck. I just had a... Oh, fuck. I was saying something yesterday relating to this. Oh, yeah. Injuries and everything, too, suck. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. All right. Here we go. Good luck.
Thank you. I just wanted to confirm there was only one counter sniper who took one shot. Is that...
Gun to your head. Would you rather have sex with Marjorie Taylor Greene or lick Tim Pool's dome? Bro, MTG is pretty attractive. I don't even know what that question means. Was that a self-report? You're thinking of the other conservative girl? Oh shit, wait, am I? Jesus. Wait. No. Marjorie Taylor Greene is, I know what she looks like. Marjorie Taylor Greene is absolutely an attractive person, especially given, what is she, like 45? Older? Matt, she's an attractive person. You guys are crazy. Porn has rotted your brains.
Recognizes Miss Marjorie.
Your element and detail.
Okay. Whoa. Okay, I don't know what happened. She probably still looks fine, okay? She was tired that day. All right.
I just wanted to confirm there was only one counter sniper who took one shot. Is that
We had multiple counter sniper teams available
yeah, on the
that
premises,
day.
but is only one took one shot? Is that correct, or only one?
Correct.
Okay.
Because I'm quite sure somebody saw in under your organization, the Secret Service, I'm quite sure somebody saw the shooter on the roof. So what was the communication through the chain of command to deal with said person?
What I can tell you is that when the individual was identified by the counter sniper, they took one shot and neutralized that individual.
But that was after the shooter already took a shot. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So what you're saying now is that the Secret Service did not see the shooter on the roof until after the shooter took a shot?
I do not have all of those details at this time.
Have you talked to the agents on the ground that day?
Yes, I have.
You've talked to all of them. Your senior team has talked to every agent that was on the ground that day.
Yes, we have.
Have they all corroborated the same time they identified the shooter or they were made aware of the shooter either by attendees in the crowd or local police department?
There are a number of reports of when those times were made.
Was it
those
5 minutes
notifications.
before the first shot rang out?
No.
Generally speaking, was it 10 minutes before the first shot rang out?
No. It
Was it
le-
15 minutes before the first shot rang out?
It was less than that time frame when it was identified as a threat.
I think it's troubling for a lot of us that the number one question everyone in America is wondering is why was the roof left open? And after 9 days, we should at least maybe have a little bit of that information. And when you come to this committee hearing and you don't have anything to say about that, it's very, very troubling. Did you review the security plan for this event?
I personally do not review security plans for events that take place across the country.
Any of them?
All right, what'd you say?
Security plans,
It's very, very troubling. Did you review the security plan for this event?
I personally do not review security plans for events that take place across the country.
Any of them?
We have a number of events that
Who's
take
the
place.
top level official who reviews the security plans?
There's a number of people that review security plans.
Who's
as they
ultimately
unfold.
responsible for signing off on a security plan?
It's a conjunction of personnel. There are people on the ground, there are supervisors on the detail, there are people at headquarters.
So there's not one person who says, okay, this is good, it's copacetic, we're going for it?
I think much in the way that we build our security plans, where they are
No
multi-layered.
doubt there's teams working different aspects of it, but ultimately, isn't there an individual who signs off on the plan?
Much like how we design our security plans, they're multi-layered. There are multiple layers.
So there's
of
no
people.
accountability.
There is
Is-
accountability, sir.
There's, this is whether it's the FBI or Fauci or anything, it's time after time.
Why the Fauci? Retarded line of questioning? Actually, no. I think it's a totally valid line of questioning. And I don't think she's giving a good answer to it. But this guy's like, so I don't even know if he knows it's a good line of questioning because Republicans are subhuman, degenerate, Neanderthal dipshits. Ultimately, at the end of the day, there has to be one person who is ultimately accountable for the deployment of any given plan. I would be shocked if it was always committees of people signing off on security events. I'm sure that there are like multiple layers of people involved, but ultimately there's got to be one person that like gives the go ahead. I would imagine that to be the case. Maybe it's not for the Secret Service. That would be surprising to me, but
There are multiple layers.
So there's
of
no
people.
accountability.
There is accountability, sir.
There's, this is whether it's the FBI or Fauci or anything, it's time after time after time, these multiple layers of accountability turn into layers of plausible deniability in agency after agency after agency. That's got to be fixed, because you keep coming here and expecting, yes, you're saying
why should one person be responsible for signing off on every plan? There have to be dozens of Secret Service teams doing different things to different people, right? Now, I'm not saying one person is responsible for signing off on every plan, but you generally want to be able to go to one person and say, hey, like, what messed up? Or, hey, who's going to be accountable for this? When you're working with large groups of people, accountability is probably the singular most important thing to ensure that stuff gets done. This is another management lesson that I learned I learned this one in Rust, actually, and kind of in Eve, but mainly in Rust. And it also applies in real life, too. If you're playing Rust, big like survival builder, FPS, whatever the fuck. If you've got a team of 10 people and you say, okay, hey, guys, we need to go mine. What do you even mine in that game? Rock? High quality metal? I don't know what's even in that game anymore. We need to go mine some high qual, right? If you just say that, and you stand around, nobody actually does it because you haven't assigned the job to a particular person and nobody has accountability for it. If you want things done in a group setting, you have to call a particular person. You have to say, hey, can you do this thing, okay? And then there's going to be an accountability mechanism in place if you fuck up. Same thing when we do like canvassing and stuff. Or I remember that like after events, if I were to tell people, as we're like getting up from places, hey, can you guys pick up the pizza boxes? If you just say that to a group of people, nobody actually does it. You just point people out. You're like, hey, you guys are in charge of the pizza boxes. Just even if you just delegate the responsibility, then they'll make sure people get it done. But having a chain of accountability is essential when you've got groups of people that are trying to plan things or even simple things, because at the end of the day, you want to be able to talk to a person like, hey, you guys are doing an event at the plaza. Who can I talk to make sure that everything's going to be okay for this, right? If you would ask that question, who do I talk to if I want to suggest something new or if I want to make sure that everything is kosher, everything's good for this, nobody's going to say, well, you see, it's a multi-layered thing that involves several different parties. So, like, they're going to give you a person, like, oh, this guy is the ultimate sign-off on this, or this is the person who you run ideas through. Or this, like, there's always going to be I would imagine, unless the Secret Service functions in like a totally different way than any other organization I've ever been aware of in my entire life, which is possible because it is a Secret Service, but. Why make it Jewish, lol, W? What? That's just like a saying. Is this kosher? Is that okay?
fixed, because you keep coming here and expecting, yes, you're saying I'm responsible, and you're accountable for it, but then there's nothing.
In my opinion, you do need to be fired immediately. And it is because this is gross incompetence. And the fact that it's been 9 days, and these are simple questions to answer. I'm quite sure if I asked any one of my kids if they got in trouble and I told them to give me the details, I would get more answers from them than I'm getting from you right now. And that's what's frustrating on a bipartisan basis, on a nonpartisan basis. This is a joke. And director, you're in charge. And that's why you need to go.
Wait, did I miss the part where they confirmed more than one shooter? This is just... Perhaps they're necessary, but there is something really cringe about these committee hearings where politicians grandstand and attempt to build a compilation of short clips they can use during their next campaign. I'm probably articulating this poorly. No, you are articulating it exactly correctly. I don't know if something could change, like to the format, but the way that the United States does these congressional hearings is a sham and a shame, both. He's just baiting for... Okay, yeah, it was. Okay. Yeah, it is... Congressional hearings are TikTok clip farming. It's like really goofy. The video makes it sound like there are multiple shots? For wait, what? Sure, it's goofy, but it has some value, doesn't it? No, I don't think so. I don't think it does have value. When you're trying to farm clips in what should be like a long form hearing, no.
Democrats say that it is racist. Democrats say that it is racist to believe, well, they say it's racist to do anything. I had a Diet Mountain Dew yesterday and one today. I'm sure they're going to call that racist too, but it's good.
What?
I love you guys.
Is it that black people drink Diet Mountain Dew, or is it that white people drink Diet Mountain Dew? I don't even know what was even attempted to be joked about here.
But
the joke is just that everything is racist. Oh, okay. Do we really do this? I feel like these guys are living in like 2016. Do people do this as much anymore? Fuck. More than my Lex bridge is burning. Oh no. Do you remember the green room terrorist guy who was so mad that I only stood up, said hello to him, and shook his hand, and he said that that was me snubbing him while I was preparing for a show? He has a shirt of me now. It's here, LOL. Credit to Shell Lazy for the artwork. Holy fucking shit. You know what we should make merch out of? We should make merch out of this. We should make merch out of like just like him standing here with the shirt of me on him. This would be, and it's such a good pose too. This would be a Kino merch design. Okay, wait, fuck. Hold on, give me 1 sec, be back. Meow. Okay, wait. Serious question, okay? Why was Cersei so unable or unwilling to control Joffrey? Like, clearly she was like older and smarter than him. Like, she's pretty crafty and cunning. Like, why was she not able to ever do it? Was it like just like her error of loving her children too much and never wanting to contradict them? Or was she like a simp for her kid? Cersei was a retard. It's more apparent in the books. Just let it go, bro. It's over. Wait, I don't get this. Luxury bag. It's fraying, it's old, and he's still wearing it. Oh, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to thank the chair and the ranking member for convening this hearing on a bipartisan basis. I join them in condemning the horrific assassination attempt on the former president. I am relieved for the sake of the country that he wasn't seriously hurt and that he survived, and my thoughts with him and his family during such...
Somebody has to jiggle the cables. Do you hear it? Can you hear the interference? The mic cable, there's an electric source nearby, and it's... Would this be considered egress? Would you call that egress into the line? Can you hear that? Why? Why would they allow this to happen?
Such a traumatic event.
Hear it?
I also want to express condolences to
Unfucking believable.
Comprator's family and recognize his heroism in saving his daughter's lives.
Typically in A Song of Ice and Fire, it's kind of difficult for mothers to control their children when they hold higher positions of power than them. It's easy for the king to lift the duties that his mother holds at court with a single sentence. What about, I feel like Catelyn was pretty in control of a lot of shit, no? Or maybe not like in control, but definitely like in the co-pilot seat.
And to the victims of that awful event. Now, Director Jadol, would you agree that this is the most serious security lapse since President Reagan was shot in 1981 of the Secret Service?
Yes, sir, I would.
And, do you know what Stuart Knight did when he was in charge at the time of the Secret Service? Do you know what he did afterwards?
He remained on duty.
He resigned. He resigned. And Stuart Knight was not a Democratic appointee or a Republican appointee. Look, I'm not questioning your judgment. I just don't think this is partisan. If you have an assassination attempt on a president, a former president, or a candidate, you need to resign.
Wait, fact checkers, he's wrong? Did he? Almost a year later? I don't... You guys have seen like every fucking YouTube video on... Was this a JFK assassination? I'm doing Discord messages. Here you go.
Would you agree that this is the most serious security lapse since President Reagan was shot in 1981?
Oh, this is the Reagan attempt? He continued to hold his director position when the attempted assassination of Ronald Reagan occurred in March of '81.
Of the Secret Service?
Yes, sir, I would.
And, do you know what Stuart Knight did when he was in charge at the time of the Secret Service? Do you know what he did afterwards?
He remained on duty.
He resigned. He resigned.
Oh.
And Stuart Knight was not a Democratic appointee or a Republican.
Oh, no. You do understand how these work, right? She just dodges every question over and over. It's not really worth watching. No, hold on. Let me explain how these congressional things work. So the way that it works, by the way, if there's a written rule book for this, please tell me, because I haven't actually seen it. This is just from what I've gathered. This is basically how these work, okay? You're going to call before Congress, and not even before Congress. It'll be before a committee, a subcommittee, or some bullshit. You call before some Congress, somebody that you want to have say things you can enter into the public record, right? I believe they're under oath when they speak in front of Congress. They must be, right? There's no way you can lie up here, right? My guess is you're under oath. But basically what happens then is you get a line of like 10 different lawmakers, and they're like, okay, I want to ask this question, and then this question, and this question, okay. And then they tell you, okay, well, you each have 5 minutes each. Good luck. And then what you do is when you go up here, okay, it's kind of like, in a way, it's kind of like court. When a prosecutor or when you're examining a witness, or when you're cross-examining a witness, you're not asking questions because you're genuinely curious what the answer is. You're asking questions to get a line of inquiry and then a record of stuff into the jury, right? That's what you're doing, right? You say, where were you on this night? You know, when the prosecutor's asking, where were you on the night of January 6th, 2021? Where were you? And then the guy answers, and the prosecutor's like, oh, shit, okay, hold on. I didn't actually know that. One sec. Right, you're asking because you're entering into the record. So when these guys come up here to ask the people a question, they're doing it because they want to have TikTok clips or YouTube videos for the next campaign, and that's it. That's why the one who's probably the best at farming up here, I think, that I've seen is Porter. And you can tell because, like, she doesn't even really give them time to respond. She doesn't care. She's just trying to get out her, like, moments and then have the other person look bad in front of her. So this is all she does.
What I'm trying to understand from you is, how did the drug improve? If I were to look at a pill and analyze it from 2005 when it cost $215, and I was looked today at when it cost $763, would that pill be the same?
I understand your question about the pill. The manufacturing for it.
I think she'll let him go on for like 2 or 3 seconds. Then she'll like, reclaiming my time, actually, because she's just looking for a quick one-liner. She doesn't actually want an answer, I think. In before this guy rambles for a minute, and I'm totally wrong.
Would be the same.
Great, thank you. So to put that in perspective, you hiked the price by $500 when the average Orange County senior only has $528 left in their bank account after they've paid their basic monthly expenses. The average Orange County senior can't even afford one pill. I want to turn to one other number if you would help me. Do you know what this number is? Does it ring any bells?
But I think you're referring
It's going to be his CEO compensation. That's my guess. I don't know.
to my compensation in some way.
Yeah, well, in some way. This was your compensation in 2017 for being CEO of Celgene, and that's a lot of money. It's 200 times the average American's income and 360 times what the average senior gets on Social Security. Now, of that 13 million, about 2.1 million came from your company hitting yearly earning targets. And more than half of the bonus formula was based on those targets. Any increase in the price of Revlimid would also increase your bonus by increasing earnings. Isn't that right, Mr. Ellis?
If revenues increased and expenses did not, then earnings would be enhanced.
Thank you. Mr. Ellis, in fact, the Oversight Committee...
Stop. I'm trying to clip farm. Shut the fuck up.
...found that if you hadn't increased the price of Revlimid, you wouldn't have gotten your bonus. Mr. Ellis, do you know how much you personally received in bonuses over 2 years, the last 2 years, just because Celgene raised the price of this one drug, Revlimid?
I receive very generous compensation, but I don't know the exact number that you're referring to.
In fact, you personally received $500,000
Do they come up with questions individually? Would it be more effective for senators/congressmen to combo their questions? No, they just come up. It's just for their own, like, basically their YouTube TikToks.
Personally, just by tripling the price of Revlimid. So to recap here, the drug didn't get any better. The cancer patients didn't get any better. You just got better at making money. You just refined your skills at price gouging. And to be clear, the taxpayers spent $3.3 billion on Revlimid. 3.3 billion. 3.3 billion. If the price of Revlimid had only been increased to reflect inflation, the cost would be about $286 today, according to the Fed's inflation calculator. $286 per pill.
Wow. There's definitely a balance here. The person being questioned can just ramble on and not let the person get their point across. Yeah, there could be. I'm just saying that, like, these congressional hearings are typically just like, they're just roast sessions for Congress people to kind of get their points out and then have it in the public record and then to be able to clip farm for their next, like, campaign for re-election. Whether it's good or bad, I mean, it's up to you. I just don't be, just don't misunderstand what these are opportunities for. It's basically it. What's the actual response to her? To what she said, there's not really a response at all because she didn't even really make an argument. her argument is the CEO compensation is tied to the performance of the company. Is that bad? Shouldn't it be? And then her argument was, by raising the cost of this drug, you made more money, didn't you? And it's like, well, I mean, if revenue increases and expenses don't, and the company's making more money, then yeah, that's going to be the bonus for the CEO, of course. But none of these are arguments. What is he supposed to do? Like, he's the CEO of a company. His goal is to increase profit as much as possible and then return profit to shareholders. That's his only job. If you're saying that he should have kept the cost of a particular drug low, if it could have been higher, if the market could have borne it, market could bear it, if the market could have borne it, is that the past tense of that? It doesn't make any sense for him to do that. You wouldn't expect a CEO to do that. If you want to have drugs capped, if you want to put like price ceilings on certain things, then that's a government action. That's a regulation. You'd have to talk to a regulatory body to do that. But a private company is never going to do that. It's never going to, that's just not their function. You would never expect them to do that, right? It would be like, imagine your husband cheats on you and then you scold his penis for like 10 minutes. You're like, is it not true that you went in and out of that pussy 20 times per minute for half an hour? And the dude's like, yeah, I guess. And did you not give up your entire load? Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm not like in control. That's all. No other questions. Well, it's not like I can control. Excuse me, I reclaim my time. And did you not? And it's like it's a dick. What do you expect it to do? I mean, it's talk to the guy, right? Same thing with why would you grill a CEO of a company unless you think there's been criminal practice or criminal malpractice, criminal behavior, or whatever. But then in that case, you'd be in front of a judge and a jury, not in front of Congress, all right? So she should be asking about who is responsible for raising the prices at their company. No, what do you mean? What's wrong with, unless you can point to a law or regulation that they're violating, then they have the right to raise or lower prices however the fuck they want. It's a free market. That's how the market works. Why should we expect a private company to upcharge the fuck out of a drug for senior patients while profiting an insane amount of money is morally wrong? No, this is capitalism. You make money, as much money as you can, by adjusting your cost until it meets some equilibrium where people are willing to pay a certain amount at a given cost. Like that's the whole point of the game. If you don't like that, if you don't want a particular good to be very high cost, which, by the way, there are really good reasons for. So, for example, when you talk about the elasticity of a particular good or service, you're talking about how much will consumer demand change based on the price of that particular good or service, right? So something like a prostitute might be very elastic, right? If somebody's offering blowjobs for $2, everybody wants a blowjob. If somebody's offering blowjobs for $10,000, only your mom wants to. I don't know. She can't buy blowjobs, but the demand would sharply decline, right? But if people are selling insulin for $10 a shot, or they sell insulin for $1,000 a shot, you're still going to need the insulin because that's a very inelastic thing, right? So there's an argument, a very strong and a very powerful and a good argument, that are on certain inelastic goods, especially pharmaceuticals, that you might want to have external mechanisms that cap those prices. But that's a question of government. That's a question for either your legislative body to pass laws, or it's a question for a government agency to pass regulations. It's not a question for a CEO. It's a wholly inappropriate thing to expect a CEO to artificially curb their profits because it's moral in your mind. It doesn't make any sense.
At the time of the Secret Service, you know what he did afterwards?
Oh, Rob said that Elizabeth Warren is actually the master of this. Okay. Maybe she is. Would the conflict between consumer and company be in part solved if that was between insurance and company? No, not really, no. It's still the same problem fundamentally. Destiny, I don't think she expects that. It's to shine a light on it and inspire the political change you speak of. But you shouldn't be shining a light on the CEO. What is the point of demonizing the CEO? It's not shining a light on anything. It's just making people hate wealthy people or hate businesses or hate some of the best businesses that we have. We should be proud of in the United States. Our pharmaceutical companies are fucking amazing. The regulation we have in the United States is also pretty good too. And the idea of like shitting on all of that just because you think some guy makes too much money or because a pill is too expensive, if you don't like the cost of the pill, then do a government regulation or do a congressional action law, pass something to change it. That's all you can do. Anything else is just virtue signaling. So are you against insulin costs being capped at $35 a month because it cuts into their profits? What did I just say that even remotely implied any of that? But that's how you raise awareness. Does he really not understand that? No, you can't raise awareness around the wrong thing. That would be like me going on a 2-month race realism tour about how black people have the warrior gene and then saying, oh, I'm just trying to raise awareness for gang violence. Correct. Wow. 12 trillion IQ. Kick chatter. Hello. Gamer geek. If her idea was to shed light on this, she would be asking things like, are you not incentivized to raise the prices given there is no legal repercussions for doing this? Actually fucking true. That's what she should ask. She should say, your compensation as a CEO, what's it most tied to? And then he answered already, revenue. Oh, okay. Are there any laws or regulations against you raising drug prices? And he might say, yeah, there are certain cases you can't squeeze, but for the most part, no. Oh, well, when you rose the price of this drug, were you breaking any laws? And he was like, oh, definitely not. And maybe she could even ask him, do you think there should be restrictions on highly inelastic drugs? With the price, she could even ask a question like that. That would shine a good light on it because people would look at it and they go, wow, okay, well, we really need like a rule or regulation here rather than, wow, we need to eat all billionaires, right? Good job.
He remained on duty.
He resigned. And Stuart Knight was not a...
So you agree with her when her argument is more effective rhetorically? No, I don't agree with her at all. I'm not sure what to say to you, my dude. I'm sorry.
He resigned. And Stuart Knight was not a Democratic appointee or a Republican appointee. Look, I'm not questioning your judgment. I just don't think this is partisan. If you have an assassination attempt on a president, a former president, or a candidate, you need to resign. That's what Stuart Knight did. He was a Republican appointee, and he took responsibility. And I think you need to reflect. This is not a...
Wow, bite you. Thanks for the 50 gifted memberships.
Question of you, it's a question of the American people. You cannot go leading a Secret Service agency when there is an assassination attempt on a presidential candidate.
What would you have to say to Elon just wants Trump elected for better taxes? My guess is going to be that billionaires probably don't really care about taxes that much. I would be really surprised if they do. Like, I know that they're going to do strategies to minimize their tax footprint, but once you hit a certain level of money, I don't think the taxes are factoring much into your mind, really, when it comes to almost anything, other than like you're going to be taking tax avoidance strategies, obviously, but you're not going to be making major like political decisions or
Candidate. I would say that about anyone who is running. And so I guess my question to you is, what's the difference between your position and what Stuart Knight did?
What I will tell you, sir, is that I am dedicated to finding the answers to what happened. And like every Secret Service agent, we don't shirk from our responsibilities. I will remain on and be responsible to the agency, to this committee, to the former president, and to the American public.
But is there a reason you wouldn't just do what Stuart Knight did after the Reagan assassination attempt?
I believe that I provided an answer.
There's nothing more that you have to say? I mean, do you really believe at this moment, given how divided the country is and the questions asked, that your service in this role is the best for the nation? I mean, I'm not saying you can't do public service again, you can't do something else again. Do you really genuinely in your heart believe that you being in this role is what's right for America at this moment? I mean, do you think there are people who are Trump supporters who have confidence in you? The one thing that we've got to have agencies in this country that are transcend politics, that have the confidence of independents, Democrats, Republicans, progressives, conservatives. Do you really believe that the majority of this country has confidence in you right now?
What's the incentive to cooperate with a congressional hearing? Can they hold you in contempt or something? I believe, I don't like that they use a lot of the same words because it's very fucking confusing legally, but I believe that Congress can issue a subpoena to make you testify, but it's not like the same as like a court subpoena, but it has like similar powers in that I think it can compel you to. Otherwise, they might be able to arrest you for obstruction or issue is it a bench warrant where if somebody ignores a request to testify, they can arrest you to bring you there? Legal document that allows law enforcement to arrest someone who has violated a court order. They said she was for this. Yeah, okay. Why the fuck is this acting like Stuart Knight resigned right after the attempt? He didn't leave office until 8 months after. Yeah, I don't know. He just isn't aware of that maybe, but...
I believe that the country deserves answers, and I am committed to finding those answers and providing those answers.
Well, look, I believe, Director Schittle, that you should resign. I think there are colleagues on both sides of the aisle who believe that, and I hope you'll consider it. I yield back.
Would you say it is the failure of government to have the issue of raising medical costs be left to the consumer? How intense should the role of the government be outside of negative liberty? I mean, I think the government should have a pretty active role in markets when an active role is called for. There are certain goods or services that private enterprise can provide very well for, but then sometimes the cost spirals a bit, so it's good to have a government restriction on that. So. What's up with the really weird and gross Kamala Harris comments? Holy shit. Like, was there a scandal with her, like, fucking some superior or something? Or what's up with all the random tweets I'm seeing about her, like, sleeping her way to the top or whatever? Is it literally just because she's a woman, or... Also, again, okay, I hope, okay, please pay attention when I say this shit, because it's really important to notice this, okay, that for conservatives, you literally cannot do anything correct. How many were calling for Biden to step down? How many were saying that Biden was told to run again? How many? And now that he did, these exact same people are now all saying coup attempt, right? Like, there's nothing, you should never, ever, ever, ever live inside the criticism of conservatives because they have no values, they don't care about anything, there's literally nothing, yeah. Even Lex is doing it? No shot. Wait, really? As a quick thing, what would be your most left-wing econ take, which you feel is not really relevant or feasible in today's climate? I don't know. But the way that I view economics is basically markets are real and markets are powerful and markets need to be respected. That's like my foundation for all economic thought. So in places where we need to intervene because the market is producing an outcome that we find undesirable, we just be aware that that intervention is going to cause other things happen. There's going to be like a ripple effect. Just be aware of that. That's all I would say. No, wait. I mean, did Lex make a comment specifically about like Kamala Harris like sleeping her way to the top? There's no way, right? Call him out. I already tweeted. That's why I said earlier. I don't know if the. I don't know if that bridge is gonna burn. No, it's the coup thing. Okay. They mean the democracy. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that Laura Loomer chick is unhinged. Was Lex setting up debate for you? He was, but then he told me that he said he posted something on the subreddit and he got a lot of negative feedback and it upset him. Oh shit, he just sent me another tweet. Oh god. Hold on. We'll see. Okay. I'm not gonna read off our taxes. Rude. How do you do the frustration of people making fantastic claims that end up being totally false, but then they hold no accountability for being incorrect? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is about that. Nice, Dev. Sorry, hold on. Boom, boom, boom. No! Okay. Did you see stuff that happened on Moist Critical's podcast? No. Oh, is he mad because I called him, Dude, I qualified that statement so much. When I said, like, I don't have anything against him. I don't think his picks are necessarily bad. I don't think he's done anything horrible ever. I think I even defended him during the Sneeko thing, right? I did. I absolutely did. And I was like, I feel like it gives very, very, very safe takes. Oh, he's not mad. Oh, okay. Oh, was he defending me? No shot over my... Oh, it's a co-host.
The Russians benefit analysis, essentially. The Russians are able to, despite their GDP per capita and everything else, cause a heck of a load of mayhem in not just America but the West more broadly, and it's very effective. These troll farms. But then, how do we deal with these troll farms? Well, we can't, because it's a.
Well, we kill them. I mean, I hate to. That's how we deal with it. And once we start killing a few of those people, they'll go, man, maybe I don't need to work here anymore.
Very morbid. All right.
Well, you don't think, look, man, if you go to Ukraine, they're not exactly holding hands with the Russians, right? I mean, that's kind of what this is about. It's about causing loss of life until the adversary either cannot physically continue or you've broken their will to continue.
So do you think
that's the way it is?
Yeah. He's talking about when we say this, when we talk about kinetic responses for cyber intrusion. This is what we're talking about. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I think that if you find that people have been engaged in like destructive hacks or interference or other types of things, you should absolutely be allowed to. The same way that you target whoa, that was close. The same way you target like a Houthi missile launching platform. If you find a server farm and you know that it's up to no good, yeah, absolutely. Fuck them up. Fuck them up. Hell yes. Okay. I got links. What is this? Why is this computer so... Huh. Hold on. I have so many Chrome tabs open. Oh, I figured out what was causing my... For the 3 people in the audience that will care, I figured out what was causing my OBS to crash every single time I stopped the recording. I think I might have spoken about it a little bit, but I figured it out 100%. When I click stop recording, or the reason why it crashes sometimes when I close it, is because when I reformatted my computer, I have a script that runs that when my OBS finishes a recording, it automatically drags the video file and moves it to a Google Drive folder so that it automatically uploads at the end of the day so that August has access to all the original recordings. However, when I reformatted and I reinstalled the Google Drive for desktop, I didn't realize that the Google Drive, because I didn't move the cache folder, even though it's creating a virtual drive, there's obviously a real location on a disk somewhere, but the OBS default video save folder and the Google Drive physical location folder were 2 physically separate disks. So when I would stop streaming and the Python script would move the file, that moving of the file actually takes like 10 or 15 minutes, but OBS or Python doesn't throw up like a progress thing. It's just hanging and it looks like the program is crashing, but in reality it's just waiting to transfer the file. There you go. Wow. What a fun, crazy... But I figured that out. There you go. I know how excited you guys were for that. What about scam call centers in India? Is that like misinformation or like national security stuff? Coming to you for 4 days in the past. In the videos, you can see Aegon's neck and shoulders move, but nothing else. Sorry if you go over it later. Thanks. I legit thought you were being DDoS, but didn't want to bring attention to it. No. No, my computer was hanging before. I don't know what was causing that, but since I reformatted, it seems like that's gone away. So, yeah, I don't know.
Jackson Clark was right about everything. It wasn't.
What the fuck is this? His name was Destiny or is Destiny. You probably all know Destiny.
Into it. His name was Destiny or is Destiny. You probably all know Destiny. He was looking into it, and then he went on their live stream, their lolcow live stream, and blew the lid open. I don't think anyone expected what happened next. Charlie, you were there to see it in person, right?
In person's a weird way of saying it, but I watched the stream, yeah.
He was in the bushes.
I was in the audience.
You were there, it was breaking.
It was like Keenan and Kel, where it's filmed in front of a live studio audience at Nickelodeon. Yeah, that's where I was.
Yeah.
Before you start a debate, determine the points of contention. If everything I just said is true, will this be a coup? If no, don't bother with the facts and argue the law. If yes, then yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, there actually was a live.
Is that all I need from this?
Oh. Audience there, because I think Destiny called in. Destiny called in to the lolcow live Discord to talk to Keemstar, Boogie, Wings of Redemption, and Tommy C. And with him, he brought one of his friends on his podcast, as well as XQC for some reason. XQC was there in the background, so there was a live audience to some degree, which is great. But yeah, this call happened, and yeah, what happened was that Destiny blew the lid open. Basically, he straight up called him a liar about his cancer.
It wasn't difficult either. Like, Destiny didn't do anything. He just sat down and read a Wikipedia article, but Boogie went on tilt. He got really fucking angry at being questioned in the first place. The entire drama was leading, like, for an entire hour. Wings, Keemstar, and the third guy, they all said, dude, everybody is questioning you at this point. If you have proof that you have cancer, show us. And he got really fucking mad at this. He got very fucking angry at the suggestion that he needs to show.
Apparently this guy fucking hates me because I'm seeing all these other comments, okay? But I don't think this line here was actually an insult at me. I think this line was an insult at Boogie. When he says, I know you guys hear Wikipedia, you instantly get triggered, but when he says, all Destiny did was sit down and read a Wikipedia, and then Boogie like lost his mind, I don't think that's attacking me as like a Wikipedia reader. I think that's attacking Boogie, that like somebody just read something real quick and then Boogie like completely went apeshit. Now apparently he fucking hates me because I'm saying all these other quotes, but I don't know. We'll see.
Anybody proof, especially Jackson Clark.
Yeah, and that's where the whole "who is Jackson Clark" meme has now come from, because he would not stop saying my name specifically, which is why I woke up to a million comments and a million tweets and stuff at me and messages from Charlie saying you need to check this out. I thought something was like seriously wrong. I was
You're
like,
an overnight celebrity now, my friend. You should feel proud.
Yeah, and it's all thanks to Boogie and his lies. So yeah, let's just go into the clips. Hey, I've clipped about 20 segments from the stream that kind of illuminates what has happened in greater detail, especially with these lies. So yeah, we'll just play some clips right now. We can start with clip 1, which is Destiny joining the stream and immediately diving into his accusations.
All right, here we go. Hold on, let me turn this down a bit for myself.
It is secondary polycythemia. Well, then can you explain?
Why would he call it polycythemia vera?
Wait, real quick. Was most of your info from Wikipedia for this particular thing? I don't think any of it came from Wikipedia. It was just like, but it was like random websites like Johns Hopkins. But it, again, not to like belabor the point. If you criticize somebody for using Wikipedia, you have to explain why the criticism makes sense. Like, there are going to be some things that Wikipedia is like a really good source for, and there's going to be some things that it's probably not as good of a source for. If you're talking about like surface level information on stuff, which for medical stuff, all of this was like very surface level information, like Wikipedia is probably fine. I don't know why you would criticize it. We're not looking for incredibly subtle, nuanced, historiography or, the incredibly detailed impacts that a particular theory in physics or mathematics had on the field, or the prevalence of, Wikipedia is very, 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 very good, exceedingly good at answering basic questions. So it doesn't really make sense to criticize Wikipedia. What produces energy in the cell? I'm pretty sure that's the mitochondria. Yeah, you really think that? What, you get that off fucking Wikipedia? Like, yeah, it's right. I don't know what you want me to say.
Why would he tell me that I have hormone markers?
Oh shit! And I was gonna say real quick too. Okay, sorry. There's a law student guy. I think he's a lawyer now. Cute. Who always emails me about legal things, about felony murder, telling me felony murder. Obviously, if you commit a felonious action, somebody's killed as a result of that felonious action, you can be held responsible for murder. He says, however, it's a hot mess of a doctrine. For example, the AI prompt you pulled stated that felony murder cannot be used if the underlying felony shares elements of murder. This is the standard rule. But here in my great state of Minnesota, we don't follow that rule. Minnesota is in the minority states that allows you to charge someone felony murder for the underlying crime of assault. Funnily enough, I don't agree with the minority opinion, but it's the law, so my opinion doesn't matter. Another thing, felony murder can come about in cases where the victim dies without being shot or attacked by the defendant. The famous example is, if while robbing a bank you point a gun at a teller and that teller has a heart attack and dies, you could get charged for felony murder. Anyone who says legal eagle's error is obvious doesn't practice criminal law / doesn't know how felony murder works. To be honest, I'm too lazy to dig deep into Pennsylvania / federal case law to find out if you can felony murder from attempted murder. That being said, if I were legal, I would have checked in the jurisdiction before making it. It looked like reading the statute. It looked like you couldn't be charged for felony murder as well. But anyway, okay, that's.
Then why would he call it polycythemia vera? Why would he tell me that I have hormone markers in my blood that tells me I have polycythemia vera? Why does he order a bone marrow biopsy to
what is Wings doing?
Yeah, I was staring at that.
Well, just to be clear, there is a world where he actually does have this cancer, okay? Remember, my read on him is it's like 70% the person and 30% the medical stuff. Like, there is a world where
in my blood that tells me I have polycythemia vera. Why would he tell me that I have hormone markers in my blood that tells me I have polycythemia vera?
So when I hear him say hormone markers in his blood, it sounds like he's talking about EPO, erythropoietin. I still don't know how to pronounce this. Oh wait, erythropoietin. Oh, erythropoietin, right? Meaning if this is elevated, it's causing your body to produce more red blood cells, which is likely not the cancer, right? That means it's making more blood cells because you have hormones telling you to make more blood cells, which isn't cancerous. However, he could have heard his doctor say, hey, just so you know, we did a genetic test and you're positive for this mutation called JAK2. And he heard that, and he might have thought, oh my God, yeah, well, I have this elevated hormone. I've got this hormone in my blood, by the way. He doesn't realize it's a mutation mutations wouldn't be like single nucleotide, what is a SNP? SNP? Single nucleopeptide? I don't remember. When you say a mutation, how many pairs are usually implied here? Oh, this is a whole ass gene. Okay. Well, anyway, regardless, the doctor could have told him that, and Boogie could just be saying it incorrectly, right? It is possible.
Why does he order a bone marrow biopsy?
So when he's ordering this bone marrow biopsy, he could be ordering it because Boogie might have conflicting symptoms. Boogie might have an elevation in his red blood cell count, but he could also have that JAK2 genetic mutation that would seem to be, oh, well, you probably have polycythemia vera. And he could also have an increase in the hormone for the increase in production of red blood cells. So the doctor's like, okay, well, fuck it. We're going to do a bone marrow biopsy just to confirm. We're going to biopsy bone marrow because now we need like confirmation of this, right? All of these things could be possible. The only reason I think he's lying is because the way that he tells the story and changes the facts and everything else is just so fucking sketch. And I feel like it's come out now, I think through the playing the person and not the medical history, he's basically revealed, okay, yeah, I was never diagnosed with cancer, which he has said now, but yeah.
What is Wings doing?
Yeah, I was staring at that.
Well, if he ordered a bone marrow biopsy to confirm.
Wait, hold on. Oh my dude, I'm having a lot of fun right now.
Okay, and you're going to, and I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
I'll lay odds 3 to 5.
3 to 5. What strange
you off
odds?
yourself by the time you're 45.
Oh, 45. 3 to not 1 to 2 odds. 3 to 5 odds. I like very specific there. You're an exact like what a level. That's Gonzalo Olira, by the way, or whatever the fuck. The guy that died in Ukraine. Fuck him.
It would be weird that you told us that you already had a diagnosis and a confirmation.
Because the markers are in my blood. The hormone markers are in my blood, Destiny.
Correct. But you said that you'd received the diagnosis, but now you just told me you got a bone marrow biopsy.
It's a diagnosis, and now we're confirming. It's called a confirmation. The hormone marker.
Now I understand, obviously, as a patient, you might use medical terminology that isn't the same as your doctor would use it, but would a doctor say you're diagnosed with something without confirming it? Would they do that? Also, we don't need to rewatch this whole thing again. What is this?
You don't have one. I don't think the doctor ever diagnosed you with it.
Jesus Christ, dial down the fucking Vyvanse, Destiny.
Hit me with the correct info if I'm wrong here, but from what I'm seeing, this show and ever since the fight and all that other stuff, Wings seems to be on a very slow actual redemption.
I don't know if it's just because of people that shit on me, or I don't know if there's like I know there's something against, my God, I'm forgetting my vocabulary, my brain. It's all the ODing on drugs I do. Stigma. I kept thinking stimulant. There's a stigma against amphetamines in the medical world, but it's very funny because if you were to go back and look at any of my past behavior, people also always said that I was on amphetamines. But I'm pretty sure even now when I'm screaming at people, I'm significantly more chill than I used to be. I'm trying to think of the... What's that one song that goes dun 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 ba bum 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 bum? Do you know what I'm talking about? What's that called? Shooting Stars. Do I do the face wiggle on this one? Dude, I'm like losing my mind in the Sargon debate. I'm like wiggling around. If they would have seen that, now it would be like 100% meth induced, yeah. But
arc. Am I wrong?
So
I like Wings.
Yeah, so
I
here's
like
the thing.
Wings.
It was very, very smart of Wings to go on lol count because he gets to be opposite Boogie.
Wait, pronounced by House himself.
Du jour on the bike circuit these days, still erythropoietin, or you guys just chugging battery acid?
Erythropoietin. Oh, shit. Oh, I bet he's talking to this guy because he's talking about doping. Because this is all stuff that you run into when you're doing when you're doping, is like the elevation in this hormone and everything too, right?
Du jour on the bikes.
Lance Armstrong doped with EPO. That's why it's famous. Yeah. My biology is very bad here, or non-existent. But I think an elevation in red blood cells, like a bit, gives you an advantage because your blood can carry more oxygen or something. Like theoretically, like if you dope, it can help you with that. And so that might be one thing, that if you can get your body to produce more red blood cells, it helps you for certain types of endurance activities because you've got more. Yeah. So you might have an elevation in EPO if somebody's doping or something. Yeah. They didn't carry more oxygen. Yeah. Yeah, so it makes sense that it would be right up here. Okay.
To take a bullet for them. Just a family man. Apparently he was a fire something. Sorry, I forget. But here's a photo of him with his daughter. And apparently he died because when he heard gunshots, he pushed both his wife and daughter to the ground and he threw himself on top of them to take a bullet for them. Just a family man. Apparently he was a firefighter, like the worst guy to hate. Possibly. You couldn't have shot more of a salt of the earth, regular.
God, my favorite my favorite local politics battle ever. Where are my 2000 to 2010 Omaha natives? Where are you guys at? I think I've spoken about this on stream before. There was this huge political deal in Omaha. And I think that the way that it was always referred to was 4 men on a truck. And the fighting between our volunteer firefighters and the city council for like pay and minimum staffing for trucks was always like the funniest fucking fights back and forth. Where I'm not trying to shit on firefighters, okay? I'm not trying to shit on volunteer emergency services, okay? But I'm just saying this is how I remember it being, okay? So if you're an Omaha native, maybe I'm incorrect. But the issue is that people were mad because our firefighter squad, they were all volunteer. However, what supposedly, now maybe conservatives or whatever were lying about this, but supposedly what was happening is since they were volunteer and there weren't many calls a lot of the nights, you'd have these small business guys that would become volunteer firefighters. They'd show up at the fire station and they'd do their 12 or 24-hour shifts or whatever. But then they would just run their businesses out of the firefighter place. And they also, because emergency services, special services emergency services are so important for local elections, you got to have the backing of your police union, your firefighters. It's really important. The mayor would always kind of be cucked out to the emergency services. So firefighters say, listen, if you want us to do a call, if we're going to get a 911 or whatever, the truck has to be fully staffed every single time. Okay. We need 4 men to staff a truck. And you would end up in these areas where like a grandma would call because she was like feeling short of breath, or there was a cat stuck in a tree or whatever. And every time they get a call like that, they'd roll out a whole truck with 4 guys on it, and they'd come out and it'd be like, okay, well, is this really the best use of city funds? But I just remember that fight back and forth was really funny because you had to tiptoe so carefully around talking about emergency services, because if you lost their support, you would literally fucking hit. Like, you never, ever, ever, at least in Omaha, maybe it's different in other cities, but in Omaha, you never wanted to go against your policemen or your firefighters. It was like a death knell to your campaign. Edward Norton's father was a firefighter in American History X. Nice. My dad was a firefighter, and he told me about this event that happened where a firefighter in Montreal went on strike for a day, and the mayor's house unfortunately burned down. Really? So how did that change? I don't know what they ended up doing with that. I have no idea. They also had issues with the police unions that were pension spiking like crazy as well. I don't know if that ever changed either. Where what would happen is the Omaha Police Department, they would pay your pension. It was based on, I think it was based on like, it was 70% of your salary or 70% of your total compensation for the last 2 years of work. So what would happen is you'd have these cops that were making $70,000 a year, and then in their last 2 years they'd work a fuck ton of overtime. They might earn $110,000, $120,000, and then their retirement pension would end up being more than their base salary was when they were working. I don't know if any of it ever got fixed, but there's good memes. Yeah. I'm a county police officer. The reason that fire trucks are used in my county for med calls is just because of manpower shortages. EMT pay is like $30K a year, but every firefighter is an EMT. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I understand. I'm not necessarily saying that's bad. I'm just saying, yeah. Omaha's pretty big. No, how is the fire department just volunteers? I don't know. When it says volunteer, that doesn't mean they worked for free. Like, they still got paid. No, wait, hold on. That doesn't make sense. What, as opposed to what, drafted firefighters? Why were they called volunteer? Did they ever say that? Did I just make that word up? Wait, what's the difference between, what is a volunteer firefighter? Volunteer and retained firefighters are expected to be on call to respond to emergency calls for long periods of time and are summoned to the fire station when their services are needed. Oh, maybe volunteers just like for extra staffing or something. And then non-volunteers are like full-time, staffed by the city officially. Maybe, yeah, okay. Maybe something like that. Damn, bro. Last night, I was watching some Better Call Saul clips. You know what? I'm good. Okay. We'll do this later. Okay. I don't want to do a big fight with Lex right now. Do you notice how all the senators became really upset about Kamala's qualifications and the lack of a primary overnight? Almost like new talking points dropped. Yeah, remember, hey, marching orders. Hello, Democrats. I'm beaming this into your brain, okay? If any of them complain, although, also, why the fuck are conservatives even talking about the Democratic nomination process? Fuck off. This isn't your process. Go the fuck away. If Democrats have a problem with it, we'll talk about it, okay? You have no right to even question our process. Fuck you, okay? Number one. Number two, oh, I'm sorry. Democratic processes are really important. Where the fuck were you when Nikki Haley was asking Trump to do debates for the Republican primaries? Where were your issues during that? Notice how he skipped every single one of those and said he didn't want to do a single fucking debate? Because why? Because he was polling well and he didn't want to risk losing. Very democratic of you guys. Get the fuck out of here.
Working Joe, poor guy who just wanted to save his family. And Destiny's on Twitter saying he deserved it. This is the fucking that got killed at the Trump rally, fucking LMAO. And then somebody else says, dude, you need to calm down. And he says, I'm sure Corey and Babbitt, that's the lady that died in the January 6th thing, are both having fun with each other in hell right now. Smiley face.
Okay, that might be the most unhinged one. Jesus.
Somebody else says, dude, this is a really bad look. Like, you're gloating about a regular innocent civilian's death. Is this really the hill you want to die on? And he goes, don't you mean the bleachers he wanted to die on?
Jesus.
And he's been going. I'm only showing like 3 tweets, but he's been going like dozens and dozens and dozens of fucking tweets and having a fucking meltdown. I don't know if he's on stimulants. I don't know if he took too much Vyvanse.
It's always so weird to like go to this. Like, are you on finasteride or like why are we hiding our hairline here? It's just such a weird go-to. It's always like it's either the cuck jokes, I guess now it's the amphetamine jokes, or the divorcelli jokes. Maybe something relating to my kid.
And mixed it with Red Bull. I don't know if he's drunk. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know.
Regardless, it's a gross.
He's torching all of his bridges right now. Like everybody is disgusted by this behavior on all sides. He's still getting some likes from like the fucking lunatics in his audience, like thousands of likes from people going, haha, yeah, this regular working Joe is definitely in fucking hell right now. But most people, they're disgusted with this.
Creators and personalities should not be encouraging this kind of behavior. This is like literally the stuff that, you know, corrupts and decays society. You should not be fantasizing about executing and killing your fellow countrymen, regardless of your differences in political opinions. Like that is actually crazy.
Well, it's dehumanization. Like that's been going on both sides for years now, and it's reached the point where people view people on the opposing side as the ultimate evil. The right views the left as the ultimate evil. Left views the right as the ultimate evil.
Yeah, because
so
the political parties themselves also encourage it. The political parties themselves also encourage it.
No, they fan the flames.
Well, that's
constantly.
the other thing. For 8 years now, again, this guy was 12 years old, the shooter, when Trump got elected. And in those 8 years, what have we heard besides literally Hitler? Literally Hitler. Punch a Nazi. All Trump supporters are Nazis. If you see somebody wearing a MAGA hat, punch them, kill him. Subhuman. End of democracy. Doom, doom. Last election ever. Well, this is the fucking result of that.
True. It's only been Democrats doing it over and over and over again. Every time you think of Republicans, you think of the most tame, hinged, unifying voices in the entirety of the media. We didn't have joke after joke of fucking George Floyd, of people laughing about the Zimmerman Trayvon Martin stuff, of people talking about warrior genes and black crime and how evil the BLM protests are, and yeah. How trans people are trying to chop people's cocks off, about how Muslims and Mexicans are invading our country to rape and kill all of us.
Right? This is what happens when you tell young people that their lives will literally end if they do not kill Hitler. It's like the thing, like if you had a time machine, would you go back in time and snipe Hitler? And now they find themselves in a conundrum because obviously they have to condemn it. But
also, how funny here that the shooter was a Republican and nobody seems to mention that. You better fucking believe that if that shooter was a Democrat, it would be brought up every single fucking second of the day. But somehow it's liberals' fault for radicalizing the registered Republican shooter who, okay. The guy who I think was like an antisocial person his whole life. Wasn't that? I'm repeating shit. I've only seen the headlines. I haven't dug deep on him or anything, but... Why does no one ever show the tweet that you were responding to where he said 100% he'd save Putin over his own countrymen and women in a fire? Oh, true. Oh, I let these guys dictate I can gaslight too much. That is what I was responding to. You're right. Oh, yeah, because that guy did have some unhinged fucking tweets. True.
also, didn't you tell us that he is literally Hitler? So isn't it actually a good thing to shoot Hitler? Like, it's very awkward for them right now. Like, Joe Biden has been calling this guy literally Hitler and an existential threat to all of our lives, and he's gonna round up all of the gay people and gas them. Well, then isn't it good that he got shot? And he goes, no, we can never encourage that. It's very awkward right now. They either have to admit that they like this or that they were full of shit for 8 years. So yeah, Destiny is not. He's genuinely melting down, and I'm seeing a lot of his fans also saying that, dude, this is too far. And here's one example from Reddit. Somebody on Reddit says, yeah, I gotta take a break from Destiny and this community. My friend's mom was right next to the guy who got killed.
Destiny genuinely melting down. Destiny has been going on dozen tweets. Oh, this is all the same shit. Oh, we've got...
Happy family, and Destiny doesn't have that. I mean, Destiny, just to...
Jesus Christ, what?
You only don't get it. Well, I do get it. I understand. Like Corey, that man was everything that Destiny simply is not. He was a man. He was a happy man with a happy family, and Destiny doesn't have that. I mean, Destiny, just to
be clear, okay? This is just as cringe, and also I'm the only motherfucker in media that will do this, that will criticize both sides, and not fake criticize the right and seriously criticize the left. Okay? I'm the only one who criticizes both sides on this, okay? I'm sorry, okay, if it sounds mean, but George Floyd was kind of a fucking loser, okay? And people building monuments to him or people like worshiping him or calling him a hero is bullshit. He was a fucking loser. He died in the commission of a crime. I think trying to sell or buy something with fake money or whatever. Like, yeah, he's probably a fucking loser, okay? That being said, he didn't deserve to get killed by the fucking cops, okay? That was atrocious, right? I think Chauvin was probably held appropriately responsible for that. He didn't need to be killed by the cops. On the flip side of that, you don't know anything about this firefighter, that he had a happy life, that he had a wonderful family. You have no fucking idea. What are you talking about? Why are you cringy? Like, this is so cringe that you would just assume, like, oh yeah, like this guy, I think that he like saved, children in his free time and volunteered at soup kitchens, I'm sure, and made love to his wife every single night and tucked in all of his children and read them age-appropriate bedtime stories and was there for every, like, wait, bro, you don't know anything about this guy. What the fuck are you talking about?
Since chat's at Mel time, let's play this classic.
He has my thing on fucking on repeat.
Yeah, I'm having a good time.
Can you recap the clip for audio listeners of what we're watching here?
So the audio clip is randomly about Destiny is sitting in his chair.
Okay. He's a cuckold. Yes.
Sing together. I don't know about this second base claim or whatever, but at the time, Lowdown
by Fleur Mel. And it's
oh, wait. Oh, my God. Is Charlie actually going to slightly defend me? or call out how unhinged he is, no shot.
Random other dude, and they start to get up, and they're being just playful and flirty, and she's basically about to get to second base because she's getting turned on by another man. As
like, you understand, we fuck other people, right? Like, the idea of none of this is really relevant to the grand scheme of the fact that we are in an open relationship. We fuck other people. Like, it's just such a stupid fucking.
Destiny is sitting in his chair, fucking playing.
That's
Factorio or
exaggeratory.
whatever the hell.
Okay. They're dancing together. They're slow dancing together. I don't know about this second base claim or whatever, but at the time, the relationship they had was poly. So it's not like an unheard of thing to have other women or other men in the relationship, if I remember
He's a
correctly.
cuckold. You don't have to defend him.
he's
It's
a
fine.
cuck.
Like,
He's debunked the cuck shit like 2 other times before to Kaya. Okay.
this guy is a genuine fucking scumbag. He's a cuckold, and the wife left him, by the way, for another man. She went and got her holes resized by another man as Destiny was just sitting in a fucking little chair.
It's also such a weird, okay, and also, listen, fuck Mel, okay, I'm not here to defend Mel, but it's also weird how it's like green light to not only attack me for weird shit, which, listen, if I was a cuck, fuck it, man, hell yeah, I'm gonna get the biggest, baddest, blackest cock, okay, to penetrate my submissive. Would the wife be submissive in a cuckold situation? Whatever the fuck, right? But it's also the fact that not only they attack me, they also say weird, gross things about the women involved too. Or did I misunderstand? But did you say get her hole resized?
Back, he's a cuckold, and the wife left him, by the way, for another man. She went and got her holes resized by.
That's so fucking weird.
Another man, as Destiny was just sitting in a fucking little chair and hating on people. Just wishing for irregular people to get fucking murdered. So fuck him. Fuck him right in his goddamn face. Genuine subhuman behavior, dude.
Wait, what's the subhuman behavior? The making fun of the firefighter guy, or like a sexual fetish? Like let's, like, even if I was a cuck, why? How does that make me subhuman? It's such a weird, creepy.
I don't this much that you want like random family members to just get shot.
There we go.
Went
Backed
on
up.
stream and
Okay,
he
there we
said,
go.
"Yeah, if my mother and father attended a Trump rally, I would be okay with them getting shot." How deranged do you have to be?
Yeah.
To say such a thing, it is insane.
Wishing violence on anyone is bad. I agree, Kaya. All right. Do you guys have anything else?
Any other unhinged? Keep it up, Steven. All they're doing now is character assassination. They feel the heat. Well, no, I mean that's always what they always do. Yeah.
Nothing on my end.
Not really.
No.
Do you not feel the need to correct them every time they say you said he deserved it or you wanted it? I mean, like, I can correct them, but the problem is, like, I just don't think people understand. I think probably the hardest thing I've seen in regards to like a tough love scenario is I knew a person who had a child, and that child, until they were like 21, I think, after high school, they never went to college. They couldn't really hold down a job, and they kept and they just leached off their parents. And eventually, the parents had to kick them out. And the child complained, and they did the whole like rigmarole of like, "Mom, like I'm homeless, like blah blah," you know, like calling just the mom to try to get back in. And I think it's hard to make people understand sometimes that like you can feel bad for somebody while also like not having sympathy for them. You can be sympathetic to the circumstances, but not sympathetic to the individual event itself. Like I don't know, but they either, my guess is everybody understands this, but you just want to get your hits in for your social media virtue signaling. I think everybody understands this, right? Like anybody dying at any political event ever in the United States is tragic. It's always sad. It's always a bad thing. You never, I've said this a million times, but I'll continue to say, you never want anybody. You should never be cheering for people to get killed. It's a horrible thing. But I mean, like, if people are engaged in certain types of behavior, and as a result of that, like, tragic stuff happens, like, damn, I mean, like, it's sad that, like, this is the behavior in the road that we went down, but, like, am I going to feel sympathy at this individual moment in time? Like, probably not. Not as much. Not for the particular moment. Maybe for, like, the overall person's life, but what is this?
Vouch moments this past day. He went into his browser and he was typing in car models, and he accidentally revealed his porn habits.
0 to 60.
Classic.
Wait, I couldn't read that.
It's coming.
Don't worry, you're getting it in slow-mo. I know the resolution is kind of crummy, but I guess that's just how he streams. And then we have BBC blowjob porn, X-Hamster.
Well, X-Hamster in the year 2024. What in tarnation?
My favorite part about this
wait. He's on page 5 as well. He's going through the
I know,
list.
yeah.
He's
I
on
was just
page
about to
5.
say, that's the funniest part. Like, he has consumed all of the, like, big black cock porn in his mouth, and he's, like, desperately looking.
I've never cared about. There used to be so many LSF clips. Like, oh, you guys look at that full porn. Like, okay. All right, hold on. Open links. What do we got?